Hey everybody, sometimes you have a match where everything just seems to line up, and this was one of those matches. I think this is my first T62A replay in quite a long time. Platooned up still with Sophie and Buzzard, and we've ended up on Serene Coast. As per normal, I'm going to head straight for the bowl in the sort of central western part of the map. Try and interdict any light tanks or medium tanks that come down there, and then we'll see where we can go from there. Usually the enemy team push a pretty heavy force into C1, so ideally I should be able to get in behind them and get some shots into their backs without getting hit from around A5 or B5 where tank destroyers often sit. I don't actually spot anybody coming for the bowl, although I do take the long way around, so that's not really surprising. Normally I just cut straight across diagonally and spot people on the way. Oh look, 1390. One shot and a ram wipes out the majority of his hit points and disables his tracks. And I finish him with a final shot. That's how you deal with light tanks. Grats on your bully move. See, it's dishonourable if you use a tier 10 medium tank to stop a light tank from getting in amongst your team and fucking them all up with its auto loader, apparently. Puppies will never cease to amaze me with the amount of excuses they come out with. Or attempts to guilt trip people for doing things that are apparently dishonourable. Anyway, something really interesting happens here, which is that the enemy team just kind of let us roll in right behind them. Literally the best case scenario here. The enemy team are very light in east, most of their tanks are here, and most of their tanks are paying attention to our heavy push through the D1 area. This is literally the best setup you could hope for on Serene Coast. It does not get any better than this, especially since the big scary enemy TDs, the Waffenträger E100 and the Foch, appear not to have left their base. Finish off the bat as the T30 burns down twice, and then the T34-2 makes a getaway, but he's not going to get very far. Not much point running from the T62. Its accuracy on the move is so good that it can quite happily chase and shoot at the same time. And with a little help from the 5041, he goes down. You may have noticed I actually bounced a shell from the 432, I think it was, behind me, off the back of my turret, or the side of my turret rather. Unfortunately for Buzzard, he's basically not been able to do anything this match because our mediums were just so aggressive. There's the Foch and the Waffenträger, both bottled up in the enemy spawn. Now that's a really bad situation for them, and it's a good example of why sitting right on top of your cap is a really stupid strat. You do not defend by sitting on the objective, you defend by pushing out from the objective to a critical position. By the time the enemy team have got this far up the map, it's too late, you're not going to be able to stop them. I stopped to take a shot at the Arty without exposing my side to the two tank destroyers. I thought I might be able to get enough angle on the Foch's front armor to get that shot through, but not quite. I do take a hit here, but I have the hit points to play with. Arty manages to clean up the Waffenträger, which is the biggest threat. And then I wait for the Foch to engage somebody else. Roll in on him. Now I'm not worried about taking a single shot from him here. I have the points to tank it. That one would have killed him had the shot not deviated slightly high and skipped off his upper plate instead of hitting his lower, but it's not a problem. The M03 cleans him up. Now I'm not sure where that shell went. Off into space apparently, and it let the IS-3 get a shot in, but the second shot cleans him up pretty comfortably. The T-62 is just really, really good for this kind of aggressive play. It might not be as fast as some mediums, and it might not have the same hull armor as the 430 or the E50, but its accuracy on the move and its hard turret make it really, really quite difficult for the enemy to deal with. It also has the best agility, the best traverse rate out of the 3 tier 10 Soviet mediums, and I suspect it might have the best ground traction as well. Certainly it has very good traction. You can climb it out of places that most tanks can't get out of. It feels like it's about comparable to the Centurion. The last enemy tank, a 121, makes a run for it, but he's not going to get far. I move to head him off, and that's exactly what I do. And he's in a bad position here because he's on shit terrain for his gun. The 121, like the Leasing 120, only has 3 degrees of gun depression, and so fighting a 5 degrees of gun depression T-62A on hills is not the smartest move. Anyway, how's that for quick and violent? This is the way that medium tank games should go. It's a lot of fun to play. I was thoroughly enjoying myself this match, and so that's why I decided to put it up, so you guys can see pretty much the best case scenario for a medium tank game. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.